Hi, and welcome to the video, Prepare to Meet the Moment. I'm Diego Cartagena, President and CEO of Betsadec Legal Services. We know that there's a great deal of anxiety in the community over the issue of family separation. In a moment, you'll hear from two experts, Leslie and Nicole, who will present information necessary to prepare yourself in case there is a family separation. First, I'd like to give thanks to Supervisor Han for making this video possible. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leslie Mendoza, and I'm a staff attorney at Betsadec Legal Services. My colleague Nicole Herarte and I will review some Know Your Rights and family preparedness information. You and I, and everyone in the United States, regardless of legal status, whether documented or undocumented, have rights protected under the U.S. Constitution. And you have the right to assert these rights. There are red cards that can help you exercise these rights. If you haven't seen them or don't have them, you can print them out through Immigrant Legal Resource Center. These are the rights. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to not answer any questions. You have the right to talk to a lawyer. And you also have the right to not sign anything without first talking to a lawyer. If you're detained by ICE, you will need to find your own lawyer, so we recommend you have a phone number memorized. If you're anxious or nervous, you can give the card to the agent and remain silent. You have the right not to share documentation or status if a proper warrant is not issued, or you may refuse to do so before speaking with a lawyer. We want you to consider private spaces versus public spaces. You have the right not to open the door if an immigrant agent is knocking on the door. Your home is a protected private space. Demand a warrant before letting anyone into your home. They can only enter with a valid judicial warrant, which has to be signed by a U.S. court judge with your correct name, your correct address, and within the last 14 days. Ask to see this order under the door or through the window before you let anyone into your home. The goal is to not engage, but if there's no option because you're in a public space or there's a warrant issued, then reassert your rights. If you're outside your home in a public space, ask the agent if you're free to leave. And if he says yes, leave calmly. If for whatever reason you're detained, continue to protect and reassert your rights.
My name is Nicole Herarte, and I work at Betsadec as a social service staff. We understand that staying calm in any of these situations is difficult, but it is important to do so because running away or yelling can open the opportunity for an agent to detain you even when they don't have proper warrants. If you're feeling nervous, you can try to connect with your community, spread the word, and have safe spaces to vent about the stress that you are feeling. Consider practicing saying, "I am asserting my right to remain silent," or "I want to call my attorney." Having a safety plan can help calm the nerves.
If you can travel, for example, if you're a legal resident or U.S. citizen or authorized to travel, practice proper travel etiquette to protect your rights. For example, turn off your Face ID and fingerprints. Instead, use a password to protect your phone. Because each case is different, review trusted nonprofits or organizations such as ILRC that provide guidance on how to keep yourself and your rights protected.
Many counties like Los Angeles are providing support of immigrant and mixed status families. For example, by informing the community and providing resources to families. Videos such as these can help inform the community, so please share. If you and your children are eligible to receive benefits such as CalFresh or Medi-Cal, you should continue to apply for them. If you have questions about renewals or new applications, reach out to your nearest benefits office or check out the list of resources at the end of the presentation below. Also, practicing social media etiquette at this time is advised. Avoid posts that may be linked or have potential negative connotations.
I recommend that you get a consultation about your case if you haven't done so already, or if you hear a new directive, but only do so with a licensed attorney with immigration experience or a DOJ accredited representative. You can search online to verify that the attorney has a valid license and is in good standing. You can also verify that the accredited representative is recognized by the Department of Justice. We urge you to avoid using a notario for immigration purposes. Notaries are not immigration experts. We have seen instances of fraud, and sometimes while with good intentions, they don't know immigration law and may put you in serious problems. Making a family preparedness plan for possible detention or deportation or removal is recommended. Feeling prepared can help with anxiety. Making a plan does not mean that you're increasing your chances of deportation or detention. If the worst happens, your family has a plan of action to help mitigate future harm.
Before having this conversation with your family, check in with yourself and address any uncomfortable feelings before speaking to your family. Connecting to preferred activities and community can help ease the anxiety during this time. Remember, you do not need to make all the decisions in one day. You can take it slow. Ask children and family members how they feel about the current immigration policies. Try to validate and normalize their experience. It's normal to feel worried, angry, or sad. If your children are very young, consider using more general terms like, our family is going to create a plan for emergencies, things like earthquakes or fires. Have a folder with all important documents, things like ID, passports, medical insurance, names of emergency contacts, school numbers, and doctor's numbers, and any other documentation that would be important for someone taking care of your children to know. Consider adding sentimental items like pictures, lists of favorite games or toys to help with this difficult transition. Be open to listening to your family's concerns. Some questions to ask: if I'm deported, what is the best for my family? Should children be reunited with parents in their home country or stay in the United States? What do the children want? Remember that being detained and deported can be a lengthy process, so whatever your decision, there's a possibility that your children will be without a parent or parents for weeks, if not months.
The BetCedec Toolkit lists most of the documents mentioned and what I will discuss. You may review for additional details when you have time. You may consider adding a caregiver affidavit and maybe a nomination of guardianship to your emergency family plan kit. Why? Because both of these forms can assist an adult you trust to take care of your child or children if you are unable to do so. Discuss the differences with the potential caregiver that you have chosen. What is a caregiver affidavit? The caregiver affidavit is an informal form. The person who agrees to have physical care of the child or children may sign the form when the child or children go live with them. And it does not have to be filed in court. It does not need to be notarized, so please don't waste your money. It gives the caregiver very limited rights, such as registering the child in school, getting vaccinations for school. This form is valid in California, and it is signed by the caregiver under penalty of perjury. You can pre-fill out the caregiver affidavit. You'll add the minor's name, date of birth of the minor, and the caregiver's name and address where the minor will be living. Check off if the caregiver is a qualified relative of the minor and if the parents have been advised of the use of the form. The form requires the caregiver's date of birth and the caregiver's driver's license or identification card number. Once the child is physically residing with the caretaker may sign the form. You'll need one form for each minor. Additional information about the form and limited rights is listed on the back of the form. You may call BetCedec if you need help filling out the form. Now, the GC-211 is the state form that is used in the guardianship. This form alone does not establish a guardianship, and it is only valid when it's filed and approved in state court with the additional documents. So adding this to the emergency kit doesn't mean that the adult designated has any rights. But if a parent is unavailable for a long period of time, or if the child will remain in the United States without a parent, a guardianship will be necessary. Please refer to the BetCedec Toolkit and legal aid resources to have more information and facts about a general guardianship process. Just as a basic, it does need to be filed in state court with all the additional documents for a guardianship. The GC-211 lets the judge know that the parents approve of this adult, which can speed up the process. Guardians can be family members and trusted adults over 18 years. Here are some recommendations we have. Update documents for more peace of mind. Update the emergency contact related to your children at school and at the doctor's. We recommend that you use the same person on the GC-211 nomination form that you use in the emergency contacts. We also recommend that you leave a caregiver affidavit pre-filled with pertinent information, including the name of the caregiver, so all they have to do is sign the form when needed. Please steer clear from using notaries or notarios if you want to designate the care of your child to a trusted adult. California does not recognize letters that give guardianship of children via notary. The custody and control of a child to another adult, not the parent, may be transferred only by way of a legal guardianship. We know this is not an easy decision, but there are people and organizations that want to help. Betsedic can assist a proposed guardian or a caregiver seek legal guardianship of a minor if they qualify for our services. If so, we provide free representation.
We have provided a lot of information. Remember, this is only a summary. You can find support and legal help in the following links. Thank you so much for your time.